Good afternoon and welcome to Bello Field on the campus of Tufts University for today's Top 10 showdown in the third round of the NCAA Men's Lacrosse Tournament. I'm Riley Leno, and alongside me is Niles Lowe. Niles, why don't you tell us a little more about these two teams facing off today?
Yeah, I think if you take a look at the two teams' schedules and the two teams' histories, you're going to find a lot of parallels. Both of these teams had a deep run last year in the NCAAs, both getting knocked out in the semifinals. Tufts obviously losing to RIT, who went on to win it all, but it's almost a little frustrating that they're meeting so early in the playoffs this year, because this would have made for another great Final Four matchup.
Yeah, it really would have. I mean, obviously, these teams, between the two of them, a ridiculous 12 All-Americans, including, for the Jumbos, 8 on their own. One factor I think will have a big impact today is these two teams had very different games yesterday. The Jumbos really were in cruise control from the opening draw. They rested their entire starting midfield. They rested 4 All-Americans yesterday, and no one of their starting rotation played more than 20 minutes versus York. They were pushed for a while. They did end up with a comfortable, at least on the scoreboard, win over Cabrini, but they were playing their starters well into that fourth quarter. So if this one is intense and physical, as we expect it to be, fatigue could become an issue down the stretch for York.
And I think one of the big things that you'll notice, especially going into today, is that the entire, like you mentioned, the entire starting midfield was resting yesterday, but most importantly, it was Mason Cone and Parker Merrill who didn't even dress yesterday. And that's because they're going up against a very tough face-off room today. This York face-off unit is 8th in the nation, facing off at a clip of close to 65%. And the Jumbos have been able to rely on their face-off unit all year, but it is going to be a scrap today at the X.
Yeah, nothing is going to come easy. I mean, these two teams, they've all been here before. They were in the semifinals, as you mentioned, last year. Each of them has played in this exact spot last year. York was on the road for most of the tournament last year. The Jumbos were right here on Bello Field for the third round and got the job done. One of these two teams is not going to be able to get the job done today. We're going to find out who in the next 60 minutes. Same two on the draw. And that one is won there by Fachaponti for York. So the Spartans get the first draw. And Fachaponti being fought for every inch. And I think that kind of sets the tone for today.
Yeah, and Fachaponti is the MAC specialist of the year. I mean, he's among many on his team that got awards this season. And, I mean, this York team is just so well-rounded. I mean, a great attack unit, some really solid midfielders. I mean, we saw on that wing play every guy available as an option.
Yeah, and here is Eric Burbank, who had a goal yesterday. Was really their focal point in that game against Cabrini, at least until it got comfortable, and then they played a little more through Harnick, who's on the ball here, being hounded by Michael Ayers. Ayers, Sturm, and Murtha all did not dress yesterday, so they are fresh and ready to go for the Spartans. Shot from Harnick, scores!
Yeah, and Harnick, leading this team with 74 goals, you mentioned yesterday, had a hat trick and has showed no signs of cooling off whatsoever. That one low to low, just beat Garzone down low.
Yeah, it looked as if it went 5-hole, and really, Jumbo's collapsed a little too much there.
Yeah, and Jumbo's coaching staff have something to say to the referees. Hard to tell exactly what. I didn't see, anything out of the ordinary on that play. Maybe they are mad about a moving screen, but...
And another win from Fachaponti. That's his second in a row. So Mason Cone, the first-team All-American specialist, 0 for 2 on the draw to start the day.
Yeah, that's not something you can say very often. I mean, he's had a great season. That's all there is to be said. He's had a great season. Not often he loses 2 in a row, but Jumbo's face-off unit going to have to change something up pretty quick here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Parker Merrill next time out. Burbank being hounded by Del Cristo, tries to cut inside. That ball pops free. Ground ball is scooped up by Edelman.
Yeah, great wraparound check there. You could see he used that right hand, swept around, able to dislodge the ball.
Wall bomb. Back to Garzone. Jumbo's got 10 to clear. Casual ride here from York, and Tagliaferri gets it across. And now the Jumbos are coming, and they're coming quick. Tagliaferri, down low to Brune, shot, score!
That wasn't Brune, that was Murtha.
Oh, man.
And Murtha with his left hand, too, absolute laser. And I don't blame you for thinking that was Brune, because that had Brune written all over it, but Murtha just painting the net.
I did not know Joe Murtha had a left like that.
No. Guess he was saving it for a game like this.
And now here's an interesting thing. Guess who's out on the dot? It's not Parker Merrill, it's Salcedo.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the coaching staff liked what he was doing at practice all week.
And he draws the violation.
And a violation is huge. That's almost better than a win, because now you put a little bit of pressure on that York faceoff unit, right? Those 3 infractions turning into a penalty, that's pretty big.
Tagliaferri going hard, shoved off it. Tries to cut back left, slide comes, shot is in the back of the net! And that's how quickly the Jumbos can go from 0 to 100.
And man, oh man, the #1 scoring offense in the nation with back-to-back goals. And again, this face-off is going to be, these face-offs are going to be key, because you can see that when they have the ball, they can put them in, but they got to turn this into a bit of a scrap.
Salcedo out again on the draw. This one's a tie-up. Salcedo 2 for 2, and he's going quickly. Salcedo through. Shot was deflected, and a good backup there by Brune.
Yeah, great trail check by Ethan Green. Good recovery there. Realizing the faceoff was lost, but not giving up on the play.
Swank has it. Gonna give it to Kevin Christmas. Gonna use a Boyden screen. Christmas coming hard. Gonna shoot, gonna score!
And man, oh man, I mean, Riley, I was going to say, when York scored that quickly, I was going to say, man, this faceoff unit is just too dominant. This Tufts defense is going to have to settle in for a long game, but I guess sometimes it's easy to forget just how good this Tufts offense is and their capability to just score on demand.
Yeah. Mason Cohn back out on the dot. We're going to get his first win of the day. And he does. Clean win for Cohn, and he's going to turn and run. Mason Cohn gonna shoot. Saved by Keller. Swank brings it back in. Cuts. Gonna bring it back out. Sanfrazzoli in for the first time today. Swank. Trying to get rid of the hip check, falls down. Keeps the ball. Still has the ball and is able to shovel it. And Lewis Timmons able to keep that in, but it skips underneath the stick of Boyden, and here comes York the other way. Zach Menser. And now Jackson Shields will slow up, gonna get hounded by Ben Frazzoli.
Yeah, and it was almost a great goose play on this near sideline to Boyden. It just looked like Boyden wasn't able to make the handle, and it trickles into that York zone.
Clark gets run out of bounds. And it's going to be Jumbo's ball. A big play by Joey Waldbaum.
Yeah, number 40, Ames Clark, just got absolutely drilled on this near sideline by Waldbaum. Waldbaum is a pretty big guy, and, you know, Ames Clark at 5'5" did not really stand a chance.
No chance at all. Brune. Tries to cut inside. Double comes. Brune, skip past Lewis Timmons, high shot.
Yeah, and Timmons wanted that one the whole way. You could see it when he was catching that ball. That was going to be a shot. He had no intention of dodging or passing that one.
Jack Boyden gets around. Now backing down. Double comes. Boyden gets rid of it nicely to Frazzoli. Now he gets doubled, and the ball is knocked free and picked up by Brent Blackman for the Spartans. Another ride coming. And York gonna bring it back. Start again with Keller. Clark, fresh off getting destroyed by Joey Waldbaum, is gonna have to deal with Tommy Swank now. And now Boyden's gonna come help on the ride, but a successful clear for the Spartans. And now Clark with a head of steam to the X.
Jumbo's coaching staff were demanding offsides there. They feel like the referee missed that one.
Here's Davis Fisher. He had a nice night yesterday, 3 goals on the afternoon. Faced up one-on-one against Sam Sturham. Tries to dodge, shut off. Mayer swings it to the outside. Kazella. Harnick back to Kazella at the top. Davis Walker. Mayer with 20 on the shot clock. Spin dodge. Slide comes to the X up top. Gonna have to shoot wide on a good look there for, I believe that was Harnick. 10 to shoot.
Yeah, and with 10 seconds left on the shot clock, this Jumbo's bench gets pretty loud.
Mayer against wall bomb. Gonna try and spin dodge. Has 2. That's not gonna matter. Shot clock is expired. And the Jumbos force a turnover.
Yeah, and heads-up play from Kazella, freshman, realizing the shot clock was going to expire, dumping it into the zone, letting his whole midfield sub. It's the type of heads-up play you like to see from an underclassman. Coaching staff definitely going to love that as well.
Wallbaum against Mayer. Wallbaum just going to do that himself. And now will he think about a shot? No, instead Murtha. Shot and a save by Keller. He saw that all the way.
Yeah, the first save we've seen Keller make, the MAC goalie of the year.
Slowing up with it, taking a little time as they substituted Zach Menser. Did not see much of him yesterday. Very quiet day for him. Here is Jack Grayson. He had a nice day. Was a real distributor in that game yesterday. And how's Reese McCarver? Mayer gets shoved off it. Low shot save. Picked up by Sturham. And a nice save from Garzone.
Yeah, and Garzone played the first quarter yesterday, and then it was Weeb who finished out the rest of that game. So I think similar idea with the midfield, giving Garzone plenty of rest before today's game. Never easy to play a back-to-back, especially at high-intensity positions.
Here on it for the first time is Jack Regnery. He was another one of those midfielders who did not play yesterday. Regnery. Stutter step. Pass down low. Christmas was cutting. Pass went all the way through, picked up by Keller. Great outlet from Keller. He finds Jackson Shields, and now York's going to turn and run. Christmas with a trail check. Harnick shot, save, Garzone. And he's going to get a tough ride. Great little play to dump it off to Wallbaum.
Yeah, heads up bounce pass there, realizing that the attackman riding was going to try to get up high to block the pass, just putting it right under the stick.
Panagopoulos might try and do this himself. He will, just out-muscling Ben Mayer. Swank now. Coming off that left wing, going to bring it from center. Christmas barreling down the alley, flips it to the X. Boyden shot off the post. Boyden trying to win the race, can't. Tagliaferri is going to try and double it, and it's going to go Jumbo's way. Great hustle play from the combination of Boyden and Tagliaferri.
Yeah, and unfortunate for Blackman. He thought he got out near the sideline close enough to the ball because it was a shot from Boyden, but referee saying he got clipped by the ball, so instead of a shot, it's, it got knocked out of bounds.
Tagliaferri with a nice dodge. To the top, Boyden down low, shot, score, Kurt Brune!
Yeah, and Kurt Brune from his knees, it's one of those things that as a goalie, you don't really get shot on like that very often. You're not exactly taking reps in practice from players on their knees. Sort of a tough angle to adjust to, and, Brune, as we've seen all season, just so precise and tight, able to put that ball into hard spots.
And now Cone coming back out. Feeling it now as the Jumbos have won their last 4 draws after starting 0 for 2 from the X. Cone gets locked up there, and that's picked up by Ethan Green, and stick broken for Cone. Play is blown dead. And now a discussion with the referees. Jumbo seem to think it's their ball.
Yeah, so Ethan Green obviously established possession when he picked it up from the wing. Cone breaks his stick. And the argument there from the Jumbo's coaching staff was that possession had been established. Players are allowed out of the box, and once the referees discussed that, I think it was pretty clear that that was the case.
And they do rule it's Jumbo possession. And the Jumbos going to substitute in here Lewis Timmons. Eddinghausen on the field for his first action of the day. Timmons drives to the X, uses a nice screen from Brune, comes out hard, swings to the top for Zoli. Face dodge, slide comes. Frizzoli falls down and gets back up. 1v1. Frizzoli uses Bowden. Now to Brune. On the X, it's Eddinghausen. Eddinghausen. Slide comes with the double. Great skip pass. Swing shot saved by Keller. And now quickly coming the other way are the Spartans.
Yeah, and after York's first goal, they've really had a dearth of scoring opportunities, just haven't really had the ball on offense. They've tried in transition, and it's really been the combination of Cone and Salcido and the face-off X that have prevented them from having much possession at all.
Reese McCarver. He's going to have his work cut out for him against Edelman, who immediately forces him back. McCarver drops Edelman. Faked the pass, but a good slide there for Michael Ayers, showing why he's an All-American. Mayer with a nice spin dodge. Help comes from Walbaum. Wilhelm against Murtha. Got the short stick on him. Burbank trying to run. Good help there from Panagopoulos.
Yeah, and great early double, recognizing the short stick matchup and going.
Now forced all the way back. Harnick with 15 on the shot clock against Del Cristo, who forces it out. Harnick picks it back up, but he's at midfield with 10 on the shot clock. Harnick gonna have to do something himself, instead wide. Wilhelm gonna have to shoot it. There's two. Mayer with a jump shot low off the post. Rebound grab by Harnick.
And on a shot that I thought was just taken to put the ball on the cage.
And timeout York.
Yeah, smart timeout, but like I was saying, on a shot that I thought was just put on cage to, reset the shot clock, somehow that hit the post.
You know what I think it was? I think Garzone didn't think that Mayer was going to get the shot off in time, so I don't think he was really prepared to try and save it. Mayer somehow got around and managed to get that on target, despite being directly behind the net with 2 seconds left on the shot clock.
Yeah, just a great take. And we've seen a couple possessions now. This York offense has taken the shot clock all the way down to 0. Really just struggling to find shots early in the shot clock. I think it has a lot to do with this Jumbo defense being really ready to slide early today, being ready to go, recognizing that this York team wants to attack the short stick matchups and not willing to be pushed around like that.
Well, one thing about the slide, right, is sliding takes a ton of energy to constantly be able to slide and then recover and not leave the man open on the weak side. And this was probably Coach Donalfo's plan the whole time, was expecting that his defense was going to have to be more active than they are, even in NESCAC play today against York. And that's the reason that we didn't see Panagopoulos yesterday, that we saw Edelman for 10 minutes, that we didn't see Sam Sturm, because they need to be moving pretty much constantly today. And obviously for York, you got a really talented offense, but right now, too much isolation play. I think it's the third possession in a row where they've spent the majority of the time with either Burbank, Harnick, or Grayson trying to create one-on-one. And I don't care if you're Paul Rabel, you're not going to beat this Jumbo's defense one-on-one. It's just not going to happen. They're going to send another defender over to slide, and you're going to be forced to back out. York going to bring it back in with Ben Mayer. And he's going to turn on Walbaum and head to the X. Looks like a set play here for the Spartans. Trying to run Walbaum into a screen, and they do. And Jumbo's going to go a man down. It's a beautifully drawn up set play there.
Yeah, and Coach Donalfo is going to be absolutely furious because from this angle at least, it looked like Walbaum just ran through a screen. But I think he's going to get called for what is likely going to be an illegal body check, maybe. It's hard to say for sure. Referees are always, pretty difficult about
Shot is low. Save on the shot from McCarver. And then McCarver wanted another foul. We'll see what the call is here.
Yeah, and I think no matter what it is, the coaching staff on this Jumbo sideline is not going to like it.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Niles. To me, it looked like the intent of that play was to try and draw a call on Joey Wilbaum. And we're going to see what the call is from the referee. Unnecessary roughness is the call. 1 minute releasable for Joey Wilbaum. That one, a little bit of truth in that, and that was definitely a hard run through, but at the same time, Joey Wilbaum's size working against him there, as if with a shorter guy, you might get away with running through a screen like that.
Yeah, I mean, Wilbaum's a tank, 6'2", 215.
Shot down, low, score! Beautiful finish from J.D. Townsend.
Yeah, and pretty simple and easy man up. This York team converting their man up at 45%, probably 46, 47 now, but pretty easy, right? You just recognize that man down, there's somebody open, you swing it along the top, and by the time it gets to the person down low, if everybody else has been covered, somebody's open. And yeah, time and space shot, just putting it right above Garzone.
Coach Adolfo still asking about the penalty.
Yeah.
Another draw. This one, Fachaponte is going to win. And now York will look to go the other way. Here's Ames Clark on it. Mayer. Hands off here to Fisher. Fisher against Ethan O'Neill, getting his first action.
Yeah, and Fisher had quite a day yesterday. 2 goals, 1 assist, all over the field versus Cabrini.
Gets O'Neill dancing, but forced to give it up. Grayson tries the spin dodge. That's not going to work. Good help there from Edelman. Ball on the turf. Murtha fights for it. Murtha gets it. And it backed up there by the freshman O'Neill, who outlets quickly to Ben Frizzoli. Jumbos could look to go quickly. Had numbers, decide to slow it down instead. But Jack Boyden now has the ball around the Bruin screen. Skips it to Tagliaferri. Shot low, saved by Keller. Rebound is grabbed by York. And Brent Blackman. Great outlet, Meyer. 2-on-2 the other way. Good help defense from the Jumbos. And a great defense from Edelman, not allowing anything easy. Mayer and Edelman fighting on the turf. And that ball is out of play. That's Jumbo's possession.
And there is nothing that gets a bench more fired up than a one-on-one ground ball like that. Edelman with a huge juice ground ball, especially against a short stick. Not an easy matchup when there's that much of your pull for them to get a piece of.
Del Cristo. Stop-start, gets around his man. Gonna go behind the net, Jack Boyden. And now you got to imagine Jumbos are gonna slow down, run a set play here.
Yeah, 60 seconds left on the clock. Shot clock is effectively off here.
Great feed to Del Cristo. Drops the defender with a nice dodge. Jump shot, pass in front, saved by Keller on the shot from Regnery. Brune, inside, Regnery, another save from Keller.
Man, Keller, back-to-back huge doorstep saves. Those have to be goals if you're the Jumbos, though. I mean, great saves, not taking anything away from Jack Keller, but when you're finishing in tight like that, the goalie can't get to everywhere
Burbank
on the
gets
net.
blown up by the Jumbos. That ball's on the turf, and that's Jumbo's possession. They didn't get the clear in time. Quickly ahead, Swank scores! Jack Boyden with a snipe, and the Jumbos turn defense to offense.
Brune, great heads-up play, going for a quick restart, recognizing that Boyden was already sinking down the field. And Boyden, time and space. That ball's going somewhere, and it's going into the back of the net.
Phenomenal. And now, both these teams Normally with 9 seconds, your goal is just to not prevent anything stupid from happening. But both of these teams have such good face-off units that if you win one cleanly, you can look to score here. Salcedo does. They have 5. Pass ahead. Shot coming from Boyden. Oh, he tried to find Brune, and they ran out of time. Wow, I'm going to have to catch my breath. What a quarter that was.
Yeah, here, let me do some talking for you, Riley. But what a turnaround from that Jumbo's team. We saw York with a quick face-off win early on. We were talking about the face-off unit. And then the Jumbos with a quick rally. And I think where it starts is, like we said, with the face-off unit, recognizing that it's going to be a tough matchup, and Mason Cone, Victor Salcedo going to have their hands full, but it doesn't mean that they're going to be beat every time, especially on that last face-off. We saw that it was Fasciaponti who won the initial clamp, but it's Salcedo who comes up with it and is almost able to turn into some transition offense. So that's where it's going to have to start and end for the Jumbos today at the X.
Yeah, I think the X, we highlighted it at the pregame. One thing definitely we've noticed in this first quarter is both these teams are lethal in transition. So you almost have to convert on your offensive opportunities or screw them up in a way that the ball goes out of play by a significant margin, because if you allow them to quickly turn it around, you're going to find yourself in a world of hurt.
Yeah, and I think just to add on to that, the Tufts team has a lot of athletic D-middies, but most importantly, they have D-middies that the coaching staff are not afraid to let play some offense, right? So you see players like Joe Murtha, who scored that initial goal. He's certainly a D-middy. He is not an offensive middy by any means, but he can go out there and he can spray. So I think you're going to see a lot of that. The Jumbo's not afraid to play in transition, and York not afraid to play right back.
Yeah, and I think we gotta mention him. We gotta talk about him a little bit, because without him, this could easily be a 5 or 6 goal game already, and that's Jack Keller. He denied Jack Regnery 2 times in the same possession on 2 point-blank opportunities. Yeah,
and great saves, great doorstep saves, and being able to hug the pipe, stay true, not fall for those fakes that, Boyden and Brune like to throw in tight. But yeah, just great from Keller keeping York in this game. This game could easily be 7-2, 8-2. Instead, it's a pretty comfortable, 3-goal difference, especially when you have Fasciaponti facing off 65% this year, leading this team in ground balls. Just a machine.
Of course, he is facing off against Mason Cone, who was at 7-17 coming into today, and looks like he might add to that. But that ball still bouncing on the turf and eventually picked up there by Jackson Shields.
Yeah, Shields, good ground ball in traffic, able to find it.
And unlike the Jumbos, York seems unwilling to let their D-middies play offense, as they, every time they get across midfield, take the time to slow down, sub out their D-middies. Burbank gets a step on Del Cristo. Good help from Wallbaum, but the pass gets through. On the X now, Meyer against Wallbaum. You're not going to body Joey Wallbaum. Clark gets around Ayers, skip pass. Grayson. Ayers doing a good job defensively. Burbank has the matchup with the short stick in Murtha. Mayer. Wallbaum comes, jump shot wide.
Yeah, and they're going to say Garzone did not get a piece of that, so shot clock doesn't reset. 22 seconds here.
Great spin dodge by Burbank. Murtha was ready for it, forced the turnover. Oh, a late flag. And Coach Dinolfo is almost audible on our mics the way he is expressing his anger with that call.
And that almost reminds me of those NBA calls where a player makes a layup and sometimes refs almost hold the whistle until the shot either goes in or doesn't, and then uses that to decide a foul. And in this case, it felt like Murtha almost got away with what seemed like a clean hit, and then the player fell over and it turned into a turnover, and that's when the whistle came.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. We'll see if York's man-up unit can be as efficient as they were their first time, scoring in about 6 seconds. Spin pass. Not quite sure for what. Harnick now. Back. Inside. Pass shot. What a save, Garzone.
Yeah, and that would have been that quick goal you were talking about. Garzone somehow able to get all the way down to that one.
Here is Mayer, 4 left on the penalty to Murtha. And a goal inside. The second man-up goal for J.D. Townsend.
Yeah, quick and easy for this York team. You'll see that they do a lot of rotating in a triangle. So there's 3 players who set up on the opposite side of the field, and they'll rotate, forcing 2 defenders to have to commit to the 3 players, and oftentimes that leaves a player inside wide open, and that's exactly what happened there.
Mason Cone back out of this draw. Since Salcedo came in to win those 2 draws, give the Jumbos a bit of momentum, we have not seen anyone other than Cone take a draw, as he wins that one pretty cleanly, then drops it very uncharacteristically, but it is picked up by Wallbaum. Outlet pass for Zoli. Jumbos have 4-on-3. Frizoli backs it out. Brune, space, shot was deflected as Cone had a good rip, and a great body block by Ethan Green. Jumbo's gonna bring that one out. Swank will swing it to Timmins. Eddinghausen now. Eddinghausen looks for a screen. Timmins gonna set one. Good switch from York. They don't communicate though. Double, space for Swank. He scores.
Oh, Swank. Swank with the sidearm from the wing. We've seen it all year. We've seen it here again. I mean, when he has time and space like that, he is just lethal.
Yeah, I mean, and that really stems from the screen set by Lewis Timmins at the top. York looked like they had switched well, but then the second man also went with Eddinghausen, forced the slide, and left Tommy Swank wide open.
Yeah, and when you have the combination of Swank and Brune on the 2 wings, it makes it really hard for you to help because there's always somebody available on the backside where the slide comes from.
Great hustle there from Salcedo, allowing Ayers to win the draw. Ayers to Tagliaferri. Runs the end line, cuts back. Thought about the shot. Going hard, gonna shoot, just wide. Good look there from Tagliaferri. Boyden brings it back in, uses Regner as a screen. Thought about the shot and said, Brune, reverse shot wide.
Yeah, and Tufts now 6 goals from 6 different goal scorers, and you know, if you're a York defense trying to figure out who to stop, that makes it pretty difficult.
Jack Regner gets his defender to fall down, but it gets stripped from behind. A great play by Blackman.
Yeah, great recognition from Blackman. I don't think he anticipated his teammate falling, obviously, but he was already halfway there with the slide, able to force the shot away.
Shields trying to get around the Jumbo's ride. Swank not going to let him do it one man. Pass and Green gets it across. Between the lines to Burbank. York will bring it back out. Get their attacking unit in. Quickly swung to Grayson. Double comes, but he's able to get rid of it. Reese McCarver facing up against O'Neal. O'Neal forces him back again. And here is Ben Meyer, who's been really quiet so far today. Down low to the X. Wilhelm. Up to Burbank. 30 remaining to shoot for the Spartans. Burbank. Swings to that left wing. That's Grayson against Murtha. Gets a step to the X. Jump shot. Save Garzone. And the rebound is grabbed by York. Harnick.
And York just too slow on the rebound. They're allowing the Tufts defense to recover. Normally on rebounds like that, if you move the ball fast, you're able to catch the defense off guard.
Pass inside. Harnick save Garzone, and that rebound will be taken up by Panagopoulos.
Yeah, goalies having a great game today. Both Garzone and Keller showing out. Love to see that against 2 high-powered
coming
offenses.
hard. Double comes. He brings it back out. And a flag. Great dodge there by Frizoli. Double comes. Jumbo's going to basically bring the man up unit out right now. Take advantage. Timmins. Double comes. Brune sets a screen. Timmins now. Backing him down. Eddinghausen wants it on the near side. Instead, it's with Jack Boyden.
Yeah, and Eddinghausen realizes...
Spin dodge. Feed. Timmons spin dodge. Low shot just wide. That goes out of play. And the Jumbos will go man up now.
Yeah, this Jumbo's man up, you know, not as good as you might expect from some of the high-powered shooters that they have. 41% conversion rate, you know, not horrible by any means, but you might expect something a little bit higher from this Jumbo's team. But one thing that they do a really good job of is they don't force shots. So on man up, they don't feel like they have to make one before the penalty ends. They're more than happy to just swing the ball around the outside,
as they're doing right now.
And you'll notice, interesting, is that Boyden's being face guarded up top by number 20, Zach Menser. They're just not letting Boyden touch the ball, and now they're behind.
Pass inside, Murtha with a great fake, and what a save by Keller.
Yeah, Keller doing a great job tracking stick there, not falling for any of Murtha's head fakes.
Oh, to me it looked like he fell for the fake and then somehow got back.
Call it what you want, it's a save in the scorebooks.
That's a turnover from Ethan Green, and that's not a place you can afford to turn one over. Jumbo's 4-on-3. Tagliaferri gonna rip, save, Keller. Tagliaferri goes down, and looks like the Jumbos are gonna go man up again.
Yep, get called for a loose ball hold. Shot clock will reset, and Jumbo set up their offense.
York back to full strength. Full shot clock for the Jumbos to work with here. Regnery cuts inside, gonna take a lefty shot and score. Jack Regnery becomes Jumbo number 7 to get his name on the score sheet.
Yeah, and that time the slide just didn't come. We've seen all day the slide has come really early and often from this York team, and for some reason that time Regnery able to get into the heart of this defense rather, and just take a shot without even pressure on his hands.
And now the Jumbo starting to stamp their style of lacrosse on this game. A big draw here for York, as they need to get some momentum back. That one tied up and won by Fachaponte.
Yeah, that's a good way to get some momentum back. You love to see a face-off guy come in after losing a few and scrap one out.
Though Salcedo not letting him get away. Salcedo just hounding Fachaponte down that sideline. And timeout York. What a play defensively by Victor Salcedo after losing the draw. Forces York to burn 20 seconds of their shot clock and a timeout. And now Coach Chinolfo going to have time to talk things over with his defense.
Yeah, and the best part about the opposing team calling timeouts in situations like that is you effectively get a timeout for free as well, right? I mean, this Jumbo's defense has been on the field for quite a bit of time, and you know, it's been a while since they've been able to regroup, and now you get a timeout without having to burn one of your own, and now you're able to save one for a sideline situation like that where, you know, a player is stuck in traffic.
Yeah, I mean, I think also you got to think about, even though the scoreboard doesn't reflect it, York has probably looked better in this second quarter than they did in the first. They've gotten good looks, and Connor Garzone has had to be really good.
Yeah, absolutely. They've come out a lot hotter. They've recognized the matchups that they need to take, and you know, the couple man-ups that they've had have been really successful. So it's not like there's no shortage of offense. I think it just starts with the face-off X. They need to be able to keep the ball rolling, you know, play, make it, take it lacrosse.
Yeah, and you mentioned the face guarding of Jack Boyden. Obviously, it's a tactical choice by York, but it seems to me as if Coach Chinolfo almost was anticipating that and is kind of using Jack Boyden as a decoy. Yeah,
absolutely. When you have a player like Jack Boyden, you know, 61 goals now, 82 assists, you realize the offensive firepower that he can generate, and it's worth it as a defender to just lock him off. Like, don't even let him touch it, but as an offense, you benefit from space, right? That you'll see the same thing when face-off guys stay on and they just sort of hover around the midline. They're obviously not contributing, but it is much easier to play 5-on-5 than it is to play 6-on-6. Much more space to move around, much more space to create opportunities for yourself and your teammates. Every offense loves it.
Well, not even that. It's forcing Blackman, their best defender, into just babysitting Jack Boyden. And if you can take their best defender and make them play 5-on-5 with 3 of those 5 being middies, good things can happen.
Yeah, it also changes the slide packages. All of a sudden you're sliding from 5 instead of from 6.
Jumbo's caught out a little bit here, but a good help slide there from Panagopoulos. Wilhelm. Slide, space on that wing, and forced off the shot there was Davis Fisher. Harnick gets inside, but brings it back out. He'd gotten inside. Rosario didn't like his angle.
20 seconds on the shot clock.
Space here. Thinking about a rip was Grayson. Might have to do it now. He falls down. Del Cristo's going to hound him. He's got 5 to shoot now. Harnick on the X, going to have to shoot it. Mayer shoots it. Safeguard zone.
Yeah, been a couple of great defensive performances from these Jumbos, especially the short stick defenders up top. Players like Joe Murtha, you know, just staying strong. I mean, they're getting relentlessly dodged against, and, you know, staying tough is one of the most important things you can do as a D-mid.
Great skip pass from Boyden to Frizzoli. He's going to turn. They love that screenplay with Brune. And now Frizzoli is just going to take a jog as the Jumbos get their offensive package on the field.
Yep, and you'll see Boyden on that far sideline trying to set a screen, realizing he's being locked off by Blackman.
Now Frizzoli comes to set a screen. Ettinghausen goes the other way to Brune on the X. Dodge, using Ettinghausen as a screen. Gets it to Ettinghausen. Brune in space. Gonna back down his defender. Cuts in, low shot, scores!
Yeah, and Brune just put his defender, Ethan Green, in a spin cycle there. Drove hard with his left. He loves to dig in with that shoulder. Rolled back. Thought he was going to go underneath. Nope, he came back the same way, beat him top side, and he shot around his defender, something that is really hard for a goalie to save. They never really see the head of the stick. Tough to tell where that shot angle is coming from.
And that's the problem with trying to defend this Jumbos attack. Sure, you can lock down Jack Boyden, but the Jumbos are more than capable, and honestly at this point in the season, used to playing with Jack Boyden as a decoy. As Mason Cone might just look to shoot this, he is gonna shoot it, and he just sails it. And you can see the frustration in him on that turnover.
Yeah, and great play from these York defenders, recognizing that when Mason Cone shoots like that, the attackmen are set up in a fast break, which means there's really nobody else backing up the shot. So if they're able to beat it to the end line, it's a turnover.
York gonna clear, and they do. Got a couple D-pulls over the attack line. And they were offsides there, got away with one. As the Jumbos coaching staff is pointing out. Wilhelm.
Yeah, and the coaching staff really not happy. They felt like the referees missed an offsides there. All 3 coaches in the ear of the nearby referee.
Harnick trying to back down Rosario, swings to the top. Shot from distance from McCarver. No. And then Waldbaum just gets out beat by Mayer. Mayer tried to use the Burbank screen. Gets it to Burbank now. Good slide. 3 come. Ball's on the turf. And up in the air. Somehow Fisher came away with it off the crossbar. And Waldbaum won it.
And that was a pretty good offensive possession from York. I mean, obviously Waldbaum out-hustles to the sideline, but, I mean, it's a tough slide, 3 players to the ball, but then you get a good shot on net. Just unfortunate that it hits the crossbar.
Yeah. The problem is, with this Jumbos team, you need to turn good possessions into goals. Tagliaferri goes down the alley, low shot wide. Keller did not look like he saw it. Got lucky that was not on target. Brune just bodies through a defender, swings back to Tagliaferri. Looks like it hit the net.
No, that was the stick of Hayden Salk. The short stick D-mid, stuck behind the net, able to get a great piece of that ball. Good stick from the short stick.
It was a necessary play, as otherwise Tagliaferri was in on the doorstep. Grayson all the way back in his own end, trying to get through the ride, and gets around Tommy Swank to do so. And York really They really could use a goal here to give themselves some momentum to go into the half.
Yeah, and I think they need to be more aggressive around the early parts of the shot clock. I think they're trying to save good shots for like the last 15 seconds when in a game like this, you need to increase your shooting volume. You need to test Garzone a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, when they've had good looks, they've been able to beat Connor Garzone.
Exactly.
The problem is you're never going to beat him from 20 yards. Fisher to Clark. Once again, moving it around, but no shot yet, and there's 20 seconds left. Shot tried by Mayer. Couldn't get the shot. Murtha won the race, and the Jumbos are just out-hustling the Spartans right now.
Yeah, and Murtha won that race from the far wing, too.
Wall bomb. Double on the ride. Easy clear to Regnery. No one's going to pick him up. Regnery thought about the shot. Now the pickup comes. And he'll hand off to Kurt Brune, who will come from his usual spot.
Well, yeah, Kurt Brune realizing he has the short stick matchup, and yeah,
they're going to try and switch.
Brune
gets rid of it quickly to Frizzoli. Great dodge. Shot saved by Keller. And a nice outlet pass, perfectly finding Jackson Shields, who will look to go. Shot faked by Harnick, now cuts in. Low shot, save Garzone. And now the Jumbos are going to look to try and clear, but that pass a little too long, but it gets all the way to Kurt Brune. And now he can look to run.
Yeah, that pass from Keller to Jackson.
Brune fakes the shot. Inside, Boyden scores.
Yeah, I mean, when they play lacrosse like that, it looks a little too easy. Somehow Brune able to find Boyden in traffic. You know, Boyden flashing towards this near post. And then when a goalie like that sees a pass come across their face, their first instinct is to come off that pipe. And then when Boyden puts it back onto that near pipe, it's hard to move your body in two directions at once. And this Jumbo team starting to heat up a little bit here.
Yeah, momentum. We saw it in the women's game earlier. When Jumbo's teams get on runs, they can put games away. As a real tie-up here.
Yeah, you love to see this. It's been a while since I've seen a tie-up like this since they've moved to standing neutral rather than moto.
Looks like an old-school moto tie-up. And a hold called on York. That'll be a win. Another one for Mason Cone, who is just proving in and out every draw why he's a first-team All-American.
Yeah, and as a face-off guy, you love to win a scrap like that when you have to dig it out.
Good deflection from Ethan Green, preventing that from getting to Kurt Brune. Watch Kevin Christmas here as he's coming in. Has a short stick on him. Brune. Boyden. And that's going to be a penalty. That was a whack to the face. Swank. Uses a screen to Boyden. Now Brune on that right wing. Just backs his man down. Face up, gets space. Inside to Christmas. Shot, scores! And Kevin Christmas hypes up the bench as the Jumbos hit double digits, and the lead stretches to 7.
Yeah, and tough shot from Kevin Christmas. He's driving down this near wing, driving down the alley, and somehow puts it far post. Sort of an awkward shot when you take it overhand, but I guess when you're 6'6", you can sort of take shots like that. And it will be a slash, so 1 minute penalty here.
Yeah, they are going to go man down, so it will be immediately Jumbo's possession, I believe.
No, so there still will be a face. It'll just be a man down face because it wasn't a dead ball penalty. And again, this is a pretty big one for Mason Cone because man up goal going into halftime would be really nice.
Knocks it forward really smartly, wins it himself, but then couldn't find Boyden. A little too much juice on that one. And Dinolfo's pissed. He had told the referee very clearly that he wanted a timeout if they won the draw. Did not get that timeout, and then the turnover happens.
Yeah, and unfortunate for Mason Cone there. Won the faceoff pretty clean and then just sort of put it into space instead of on a stick.
That ball almost went all the way through. Didn't. Edelman pokes it free, and the Jumbos are going to look to go. Walbaum wanted the ball, didn't get it. Murtha did. Jumbos have 5-on-3 if they hurry. And now Dinolfo gets his timeout.
Yeah, Coach Dinolfo gets his much-demanded timeout. I think he was telling the wrong referee that he wanted that timeout. But, yeah, 10-3, 26 seconds left on the penalty here. Plenty of time to set one up, especially out of a timeout. And I think if you're this Jumbo's team, this is a momentum changer. I mean, there's obviously a lot of momentum already, but to put one in the net, 11-3 going into halftime, that's a pretty big lead. That's a sizable lead that you're willing to work with. Feels pretty good going into halftime.
Yeah, I mean, 10-3, 10-4 is a very big difference versus 11-3. 11-3, if you're down 11-3 to this Jumbo's team, you start in the smallest corner of your mind dreading the ride home to Pennsylvania. And as soon as your focus, even for the slightest glimpse of a moment, disappears from Jack Boyden or Kurt Brune, it's game over.
Yeah, and I think if you're York, it started off really well in the sense that you were able to create a fast break opportunity, and then since then it's just been sloppy in transition. I think you need to go back to what was working, which is first capitalizing on man-up opportunities, but second of all, being willing to play fast. Just because Tufts is playing fast doesn't mean you can't do the same. The countermeasure to playing fast is not slow the pace down, it's to play fast and play equally as well.
Yeah, and I think that might be what we're hitting on here, is that we didn't see them play fast at all yesterday. I don't know if it's in their style. I don't know if they might think they can't play fast at the same level. And really, York, they looked the same team they looked yesterday, the team that dominated Cabrini. There is not much difference. There's not really a drop-off. The difference is, for all the talent they have, it does not look right now like they can compete with the talent on this Jumbo's roster.
Yeah, and it's going to have to start with a big man-down opportunity here for them. A takeaway would be massive, especially with their star defender Blackman in the box.
They already got one. Can they get another? Because that would be huge. 2 defensive stands in this man down. Brune. Boyden. Calling the shots. Now Swank back to Boyden. Inside. Tagliaferri scores.
Yeah, and you can see the small things Boyden does when he shifts around at the top, forcing defenders to keep an eye on him, forcing the point defender especially. But it allows Tagliaferri to, play that inside game of just, man, if I have my stick free, I know Boyden's going to find me. And Tagliaferri now 36 on the season.
Yeah, that's why he's an All-American. Because if he gets the ball in the slot, it's going in the back of the net. And Cone just continues, Salcedo continues. Gonna shoot, save. Swank does a good job bodying him out, allowing Boyden to win the race. And Coach Adolfo's gonna use his last timeout to set up a play here, as the Jumbos will look to try and extend this lead to 9 going into the break.
Yeah, 16 seconds here, plenty of time for a play.
I mean, you want to talk about what makes a championship caliber team? Let's talk about that last play. You have your 2 leading scorers. Tommy Swank, who has 63 goals. Jack Boyden, who's on pace to break the NCAA record for points. Winning a foot race against the deep hole with 15 seconds left in a half, up 8. Those are the plays that pay dividends, that win you championships.
Yeah, you love to see it from this Jumbo's team. And if you're York, I mean, 8 goals is a lot, but it's not insurmountable. I think what it starts with is more settled, offensive opportunities. They just need to start taking more shots is what it comes down to. They've had some good opportunities, but frankly, it's just not a ton comes to mind. They haven't had a bunch of close misses. They've just had a couple Garzone saves. They've had their 3 goals, and that's about it. Their offense has been relatively quiet. I mean, there's a lot of names on this list with a lot of goals this season. Will Harnick, Ben Meyer, J.D. Townsend, who all have, 1 or 2 goals today, but they need those guys to show up in a big way in this second half if they want to stick around.
Yeah, I mean, and I think you got to start also, got to shoot the ball. Like, you mentioned it. But not even that. It's the quality of shots. Because every shot they've had other than on the man up and that first look to give them the goal to start the game has been easily trackable by Garzone. He's even able to get his body in front of it. You got to give him varied looks from tough angles as Boyden comes with 10 seconds. Boyden behind the back pass gets blocked. Tagliaferri scoops it with 5. Skip pass, shot coming from Boyden. Inside pass denied. That's how we'll go to the break. A good stop there from York to give them a little bit of momentum, but right now it is all Jumbos, 11-3. We'll be back with the second half. Welcome back to Bellow Field on the campus of Tufts University as we get set for the start of the second half. Jumbo's lead 11-3 over the York College Spartans. Niles, what do Spartans need to do to get themselves back into this game?
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about it a little bit early on. I think they just need to be a little bit more patient on offense, but not patient to the point where you're taking your first shot in the shot clock with 10 seconds left. I mean, it felt like there was times where they were waiting for a perfect shot that never came, and that ended up with them dumping the ball into the back of the zone and subbing the entire midfield off. And I also think that it starts with face-off man number 23, Vinny Fasciaponti, who's had a tough go today against Victor Salcedo and Mason Cone, but obviously wins one to himself right as I say that. But I think it starts with him too. They've been so reliant on him throughout the season for possession. Obviously specialist of the year for the MAC, so look to him to be the driving force in a comeback if it happens.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned obviously the waiting. I mean, we're seeing it right here, right? The way they're substituting in. They're finally getting themselves fully oriented, but they've already wasted 30 seconds off the shot clock.
Yeah, it's just a little bit too slow. They're not moving with intention.
Ben Mayer against Panagopoulos. Great spin dodge, but Panagopoulos does not allow him to get his hands free. Burbank. Out to defend Del Cristo. Now Ames Clark with 30. Like, has a long pull on him, and Air's not letting him get anywhere. Grayson against Murtha. 15 to shoot. Grayson spins back. Murtha comes. 10 to shoot. Tries to get around, gets a shot over the bar.
And this is the exact type of possession we said cannot happen. They had their first shot, and there's 6 seconds left in the shot clock. It's effectively a wasted possession. You take a sidearm shot, and now you have to drive to the net and just hope it touches something.
And Harnick's just going to dump it. That's the definition of a wasted possession.
Yeah.
And it's really not how you want to start your hopeful second half comeback.
No, and possessions have been few and far between. When Fasciaponti finally wins one, you need to capitalize. And Garzone will just carry here. They're letting him.
Will he shoot it is the question. He might.
Oh.
I would have.
This place would have gone nuts.
Del Cristo shoots, scores. The wind's picking up. The Jumbos are picking up. And the Jumbos getting close to putting this one in cruise control.
Yeah, Del Cristo with his 15th of the season isn't a huge part of the offense, more of a D midi, but likes to stay on in that transition game, and it's easy for a defense to forget about a D midi when they're used to their own D midi subbing off. Instead, he becomes a threat inside, able to finish with his left hand.
Another win there from Fasciaponti. Going quickly, he shoots it, and a nice save by Garzone.
Yeah, Fasciaponti taking matters into his own hands here.
That was the first time really all day we've seen any urgency in the York attack. It's really been that and the goal they got at the very beginning that Fasciaponti also helped create. Mayer gets through the double team to Clark.
Yeah, nice job from Mayer there, able to survive the double team of Waldbaum and for Soli.
Davis Fisher. Now here is Kazella. He was a bit of a spark plug for them yesterday against Cabrini. Nice spin dodge against Edelman there. Tries to spin back, does. No slide, he gets rid of it to Fisher. Fisher gets around Sturm. Trying to do a little too much, but able to get to the X and Harnick. Harnick with 20 to shoot. Joey Waldbaum giving him fits. 15, Mayer has Sturm on him. Slide comes from O'Neal. Mayer gets inside, shot save Garzone. Jumbo's got bailed out there.
Yeah, great save from Garzone, recognizing that the shot was going to be coming from one angle, which is high. Stays on that pipe and able to put that one away.
Swank. Great feed down low. Boyd an extra pass. Brune to Swank. He steps into it, just misses. And Coach D'Onofrio's got to love that. Christmas in this left alley. Steps around with a dodge. Low shot, just wide.
Yeah, just put a little bit too much on it. Wanted to put it near post, but instead drags it a little bit too far. I think that bounced a little bit in front of that crease.
Brune uses the screen from Christmas, but a great defensive play from Ethan Green.
Yeah, the screen was just a little bit too shallow, meaning that both defenders were able to see it before it happened, and it basically just turned into a double team on Brune.
Jumbo's ride forcing the keeper in. And a successful clear. And then a long outlet. Skip past Burbank. And he's just going to bring it back again. As once again, they waste the first 30 seconds of the shot clock getting set up.
And again, it's a 9-goal game. This game is not over, but they need to attack like it's a 9-goal game.
Great spin dodge. Burbank shot. Somehow Garzone dug that up. Rosario couldn't get the ground ball, and it's picked up by Wilhelm.
York needs to go fast here while the defense is unsettled.
Skip pass for McCarver. We'll see if Mayer goes quickly. Tries to back down. Help comes. Jumbo's able to retreat and rotate back defensively. Great move there. Grayson, pass inside, low shot, just wide for McCarver.
Yeah, and finally a good find from this York offense, able to move the ball around enough that they free up the guy inside. Fortunately, just can't put the shot on target.
Jump shot scores! Harnick took it into his own hands there.
Harnick leading this team in goals, adding to it. Just turns the corner a little bit too quick. I don't think Garzone expected him to turn the corner and shoot right away.
Yeah, and
28, reminding me of Boyd in the way he sniped with no angle.
I mean, you saw, or at least we saw, Coach Casey Alpha clap his hands after that, because honestly, if that's the sort of goals you're giving up, you have to be happy with that defensively. That was just phenomenal individual effort, and you're not going to be able to prevent every shot. If you can force them into shots like that, odds are you're going to be able to win the lacrosse game.
Yeah, and after Fascia Ponte had won a few in a row, Cone steals back another.
Brune in the alley. Has Green on him now. Brune trying to back down Green. Slide comes, loose pass. Timmons couldn't pick it up cleanly. And it will be picked up by Zach Menser. Ahead to Shields. York coming quickly. Harnick, space. Menser, good slide. Wilhelm, Mayer, and the Jumbos retreat defensively. Mayer gets space. Wilhelm gonna shoot just wide.
Much better from this York offense. Sense of urgency from the team. Shooting early in the shot clock, creating opportunities, movement off ball. Looks like a totally different offense.
I mean, you could see there, when they went quickly, there were gaps in that Tufts defense. Good move there. Fisher faked the shot. Wilhelm took the shot, sailed it.
Yeah, and that didn't miss by much.
But all of a sudden, we're seeing signs of life from this York offense.
Yeah, they're seeing success from it. These shots are not missing by much. You're testing Garzone. You're creating gaps in this offense. This is how you get back in the game.
Davis Fisher running against the short stick Murtha. Spin dodge. Slow shot just missed. Good idea there from Davis Fisher. Just couldn't quite keep his hands from overturning. Mayer against Wallbaum. Spins in, low shot. Mayer went down, Garzone went down, ball went down. Ball came out, Mayer is down in some pain. And we're gonna take a short break. Be right back with you.
Glad to see Ben Mayer able to walk off on his own strength. Hope he's all right. Joined by the Jumbos and York training staff, but seems to be moving all right and able to dab up his teammates on the way off. So
Yeah, it was really hard to see what happened there. It was kind of a tangle of bodies. Ball ended up coming free. Mayer had a really good look there. Garzone with a nice save, and now the Jumbos just going to be able to clear it with wall bomb. Swank. Little fake pass. Oh, we got some extracurriculars on the near sideline between the coaching staffs. Down the line, jump shot just wide from Eddinghausen. Jumbos win the race. Brune uses the screen. Skip past Timmons. Dodge. Faked back to Boyden. Took the shot and froze Keller with the snipe.
Yeah, Timmons took a shot that, you know, it's not really in his arsenal to shoot from this near side wing like he does, and he just stings Keller's hip. As a right-handed goalie, that's probably the hardest spot to save. That left hip puts it right along the post. And yeah, you alluded to it a little bit of back and forth between the two coaching staffs. I think your coach is upset a little bit about the hit on Meyer, and Jumbo's coaching staff saying it's not like we told him to hurt him.
Yeah, I mean, that's the sort of thing. They seem calm now as Salcedo's going quickly. Extra pass, low shot, and what a save by Keller. Ball on the turf picked up. And good play, smart by Wallbaum. Getting it back to Boyden. Boyden getting triple teamed, hounded, and a push called. But that's the sort of thing you love to see. You love to see coaches sticking up for their players. And that's really something we're not unaccustomed to seeing in the NCAA tournament. As the Jumbos just looking to keep piling on the goals. Tagliaferri. And now the referee is screaming at the York coaching staff as that shot sails wide.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth on this sideline.
Regnery Brune scores.
And at some point, you just got to let the players play. I mean, obviously a frustrating day for this York coaching staff, but probably in their best interest to keep an eye on the field rather than on the Tufts bench.
And now a third referee is going to come have a discussion with the two coaching staffs. And I think the message being told to the coaching staffs is just stay away from each other. Salcedo on another draw. That one is won by Fachaponti. Salcedo not giving him anything, forcing him all the way back. And the Jumbo's ride will come again.
Yeah, and it's not like Fachaponti's had a horrible day. 8 for 21, just a little bit below 50%. It's just that they haven't been able to capitalize on the ones that he has won.
Nice find from Burbank. Grayson down low. Wilhelm spin dodge. Low shot. Save Garzone. Jumbo's going to go man down, as it was pretty clear that Will Harnick was being held there.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they're going to get him for. Yeah, good call, Riley. It'll be a 30-second hold. And again, if you're York, you have to capitalize. Like these opportunities do not come by very often. It's an unforced error by this Jumbo's defense, and you got to put one in the back of the net. It's that simple.
Yeah, you got 30 seconds with Joey Wallbaum in the box, and you've been 2 for 2 in the man-up so far today. This is must-score territory for the Spartans. Pass deflected. Harnick's able to save it. Pass down low. Went through everyone. And hustle play by Davis Fisher to keep it in. And then drops the defender. 6-on-4 if they hurry.
7 seconds on the penalty.
Harnick. Grayson. Penalty has expired. Jumbo's back to full strength.
Yeah, and Jumbo's survived the pressure.
But York didn't panic there. Kept the ball, got sustained position. Shot from Fisher just wide. Real good look there.
18 seconds on the shot clock. This Jumbo's bench will get loud.
Mayer, good to see him back in the game. Double comes. Sturm, Edelman took it, picked his pocket, and now Edelman's going to run. 5-on-4. Pass across. Murtha thought about the shot, dumped it just too far behind Sturm. Boyden's able to save it. And now he can turn and burn.
Yeah, it was a long shift for these D middies, so Tufts will take the time to make some subs here.
Boyden shovels it behind him, a little too far for Verzoli, and alert to that was Lewis Timmons. Timmons. Just barreling a man down. Skips it to Eddinghausen at the top. He's going to set up here. Swings it wide to Timmons. Easy face dodge, slide from Green. Now to the top. Oh, he had an open cutting. Boyden instead will swing it to the other side.
Yeah, they're just going to let Brune attack the short stick matchup here.
He has the short stick, wants the short stick. 10 to go on the shot clock. Brune backing him down. Slide comes. Brune lost the ball. Clean pick from York. Green comes away with it.
Yeah, great heads-up slide there. That was Blackman, who's been all over the defensive end of the field today. Sliding on Brune and dislodging the ball.
Burbank gonna get doubled, gets it free to Clark. Just over 3.5 to go in the third. Jumbos lead 14-4. Good dodge there from McCarver. Clark against Ayers. And a great strip there from Ethan O'Neill. Jumbos 4-on-3. O'Neill faked the shot and just a little too strong for Kurt Brune.
Yeah, it looked like he slipped a little bit on that too. Unfortunate. 4-on-3 is, I mean, you drill that day after day in lacrosse practice. The type of situation you love to be in as a midfielder. And just unfortunate the pass a little bit too high.
Another ride here. Swank not able to force him far enough to the sideline. And Grayson able to clear. Michael Ayers just making Jack Grayson's life miserable right now. To the top, and Davis Fisher, who will face off against Christian Rosario. Has the Mayor screen, goes the other way. Fisher tried to cut inside, double came. Mayer trying to back down wall bomb. Tries to spin. Help comes, good slide from Panagopoulos and a turnover. And the Jumbos deep holes just putting on a clinic right now. Wall bomb. Back to Garzone. Jumbo's got to be careful here. They only have 7. Garzone might just clear it himself. Garzone with space. Slams on the brakes. Now in a bit of trouble. And D'Onofrio smartly calls timeout.
Yeah, with 2 minutes left in this third period, the first time out they've used smart, you realize your goalie's obviously buried in the defensive end, or offensive end rather. But much better from York. Unfortunately, they don't have goals to show for it. Much better, but this Jumbo's offense has just been crushing. In the sense that once they get the ball, there's almost a sense of impending they're going to score. And when you're a defense that's been on the field and having to play against Jack Boyden and having to face guard him for as long as they have, it becomes a really frustrating day. You start getting sloppy on ground balls. You start putting in a little bit less effort on plays that normally you pride yourself on making. And it's sort of this vicious cycle that drives you down, 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 and certainly doesn't help when your coaching staff is getting into it with the other teams. It's just a pretty brutal circumstance. But again, this is a really solid team, number 10 ranked York. I mean, they have plenty to turn it around if they want to. I think it just starts with those offensive possessions. It was a lot better, but still, you can't have first shots coming with 10 seconds left. That just can't happen.
No, and it can't. And I think you also, in order to stay with the Jumbos in this physical game, you have to keep your heads about you mentally, and that really starts from the top, and it starts with Coach Childs. And, I mean, that was textbook frustration there, the argument between him and D'Onofrio. It was over a physical but clean play, and really, that's the sort of argument you would never see either of them make in a regular season game. But when you're down in the NCAA tournament, frustration sometimes takes over. And now it's on York to kind of get their heads back about them, see what they're made of, and see if they can get themselves back in this game. Boyden, great spin dodge, shot scored.
Is that Boyden? No, it's Rigneri. Man, I mean, this... Oh, no, it was Boyden. My mistake. You're right. I mean, this offense is something. Their ability to score is remarkable from all over the field. I just... I'm not sure I fully understand what it would take for a defense to be able to cover all the threats that the midfield brings.
I don't think you can. Maybe an extra like 3 or 4 guys on the field. Cone gets double teamed after winning the draw. Gets a beautiful pass right to the stick of Waldbaum. And now the Jumbos can run again. Del Cristo gonna whip it, gonna score it.
And Del Cristo with a jump shot, right-handed down the right alley. He shouldn't have an angle from there. He shouldn't be able to jump shot from there. But man, if we could get a clip of that later, I'd love to see how that went in.
You know, we were talking about momentum and how York just needed to get their heads back about them. It's really hard to do that when you get hit with a 1-2 punch like that.
And the scary part, I mean, we talked about this a little bit at halftime, but the scary thing for the rest of this D3 field is that this York team lost to RIT, who won it all last year, by 1. And we talked about it a little bit at halftime, but what does that mean for the rest of this championship? I obviously am not going to jinx anything, and I'm not going to say it, but it has Waldbaum with another takeaway.
Yeah, you want to talk about scary? I mean, this Jumbo's defense has been phenomenal. The Jumbos have 16 goals. Their superstar trio of seniors has 5 of them. Murtha, Boyden, whipping it around a swank. Handoff, Tagliaferri. 1 minute to go in the third. Tagliaferri, dodge. Little shake and bake from the sophomore. Spin dodge, uses a swing screen. And Jumbo's gonna go man up as that was a check to the head.
Yeah, just a little bit too high. It was a nice check. It just slid up a little bit as Rigneri dropped his hips.
Christmas, head of steam, space, shoots, scores. And it is all coming up dandy here in Medford. Jumbo's pouring gasoline on the fire, lead 17-4.
And you can see it on this York bench. I mean, it's a lot of long stares and silent gazes, but this Tufts team is starting to play faster. I mean, it is the end of the third quarter, and the worst part now is they go man down and you hold for the end of the quarter and it's a man down face. I mean, it's all sorts of trouble for this York team. 17-4, I mean, seems insurmountable now.
What's the call here? Looks like Mason Cone went early. That'll bail York out somewhat as they can look to hold on to the ball for the end of the quarter. And the Jumbos are now going to even things up in terms of men.
Yeah, it looked like Mason Cone got called for a slash there. Went for a one-handed wraparound, and oftentimes when you don't make contact with the stick, it's the easiest call for a ref to make. So Mason Cone will head to the box, 1 minute, making them even for the rest of this quarter.
Yeah, I mean, this is really, it's both an opportunity and a risk for the Spartans. You got yourself back to even strength, but at the same time, it's 5-on-5. And the way this Jumbo's team transitions, any sort of turnover will likely be punished with this open of a field.
Yeah, but you have no choice. 17-4, you have to go to the net.
As you say that, they seem in no hurry with 10 seconds left on the clock. Looks like they're just going to see it out and start the fourth quarter with a man-up draw. Interesting choice. At the end of 3, the Jumbos shut out the Spartans in the third quarter, win the quarter 6-0, and take a 17-4 lead to the fourth. Niles, is it starting to get to the point where we start thinking about the Elite Eight?
Sorry, I'm listening for the referee here. But yeah, I mean, this Tufts team has turned into something where a deep run is certainly something that they expect for themselves. I mean, talking to some of the guys early in the season and even before the season, when they set out, you know, as early as August, their desire is the national championship. That's the only thing any of them have in mind. Obviously the NESCAC is great, and you could see the videos of all of them celebrating last weekend, but there's one goal in mind, and it's to win that national championship. So I think if you were to ask any of them today what their goals are, I think they would all have the same message. But I don't think they plan for that. I think they're thinking about it one game at a time, and it shows. Their preparation today was great. The coaching staff's management of players was excellent, keeping Mason Cone and Salcedo fresh for today. I think it was a wonderful game from, this Tufts team as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, and they have the advantage that they didn't have last year, which is, assuming they hold on here, they will be hosting next weekend here on Bello. And if you know anything about Bello Field, it is not generally regarded as a very easy place to play games.
Home game on graduation weekend, huh?
That would be something. And, well, it looks like it's early on in that one.
The Denison game.
The Denison game. But currently it is 5-0 Lynchburg.
Interesting.
As Salcedo's just come straight through, just missed. And I'll tell you what, I don't think Lynchburg would scare the Jumbos too much, considering what they did to Lynchburg the first time those two teams played in the middle of a blizzard. Regneri drops the shoulder, comes hard, fake the wraparound, Boyden with space, Boyden shoots, Boyden like he's shooting with a kid.
Yeah, that time he got him with the head fake. You could see it the whole way. He found himself in the middle of the field, no one around him, dipped his head, and then just put it high and away.
And the Jumbos just keep piling it on, 18-4 now.
And sometimes you saw it in the regular season when a game got out to this scoreline, they would start pulling starters and stuff like that. But it's the NCAA tournament. They have a message to send, and they fully intend on doing so.
Well, also, there was a point to pulling the starters. It was to give them rest. They got rest yesterday. They didn't play, most of them.
And their next game is in a week. They have plenty of time to recover.
This is about sending a message to the RITs, the Unions, the Salisburys of the world, that this is our year and you're going to have to come take it from us.
(18-4), 14 minutes left in this fourth quarter. York team looking a lot better on offense. Great shot there. Number 4, Mayer, got dinged up earlier. Back on the field, seemingly hasn't missed a beat. And this York team, if they had been attacking like this early on, I would love to have known what the score would have been like. This type of aggression has been really beneficial for their opportunities.
Good hustle from Murtha. Forced the kick, but he couldn't win the race. Grayson has Murtha, tried the little sidearm shot, sailed it wide. And the Jumbos coaching staff still very vocal. They did not like that look for Jack Grayson. Got his hands free in a dangerous spot, just couldn't keep it on target.
Yeah, and Ames Clark here, I've loved the way he's played today. He's just so fast along the top of the field. Would love to see him take a short stick matchup up top.
Skipped to Burbank, who after a really dominant offensive performance yesterday has been quiet as a mouse today. 10 to shoot for the Spartans. Harnick fast inside, knocked out of the stick of Wilhelm behind the back, but it's picked up cleanly there by Sam Sturm, and the Jumbos are gonna run again. Boyden wants it, Boyden gets it. Boyden got tripped up. Ball on the turf, Swank fighting for it. Picked up by Michael Ayers, of all people.
Yeah, Michael Ayers guarded by Ames Clark. They've basically switched roles.
Jumbos don't want to split it. Instead, they'll hand it to Edelman. And Kevin Christmas gets the ball.
Yeah, Jumbo's having 2 pulls on offense. Reminds me of Notre Dame, who scored earlier, believe it was yesterday with 3 pulls.
Yeah, that was an incredible goal. Tagliaferri, nice dodge, gets in, slide comes, skip past Boyden, scores.
And Boyden with that same head dip, he just loves that move, and it works so well. You can see it when he catches it, dips his head, goalies react, and then just puts it high and away.
I don't know. It seems to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, Niles, it seems to me as if the Jumbos know what York's slide rotation is. Because Charlie Tagliaferri, as soon as he saw the slide, he threw that ball to where he knew Jack Boyden would be, knowing he was uncovered.
Yeah, so when you slide, the 2 slide is from that opposite side, so everybody sloughs in, and it leaves that player open. The problem is that the York team just isn't having their sticks up in the lane, which allows, you know, those skip passes to be thrown for free, basically. And then, yeah, Boyden, when he steps in, is going to score every time.
Great picking of the pocket from Cone on green. Wall bomb coming the other way. Boyden, skip pass, Kurt Brune. Backs him down, drops it for O'Neal, and a great save from Keller.
Yeah, nice combination there. Boyden to Brune, Brune dumping it off to O'Neal, and O'Neal wanted that one bad.
Jack Boyden with a quiet 6 points on the day.
Yeah, and it's been quiet because Blackman's done a great job of guarding him. But Blackman got penalized a couple times, and you can't cover all of Boyden's passes when you're on him, so.
Timmins on his left. Tries to spin dodge, gets it doubled. Nice dump to Ettinghausen, extra pass. Boyden on the X. Skips it all the way over to Ettinghausen. He fakes the shot, passed it inside, picked off.
Yeah, nice idea from Ettinghausen, realizing that the pressure was coming from the crease, trying to find the guy inside, just couldn't find the stick.
Shields skips it. Mayer gonna take it, gonna rip it, save Garzone. And then a beautiful outlet, Jumbo's running. Brune, Swank, Boyden, skip pass, Frizzoli, scores.
And this York team is dejected. There's no energy left on this bench. They are being crushed in a way that they really haven't been crushed this season. They had the 10th scoring margin in the nation at 8 goals a game.
What's the Jumbo scoring margin, Niles?
Oh, great. Glad you asked. They're actually the number 2 in the nation at 11.
Who's number 1?
I'd have to look. Imagine it's RIT, but honestly, I'd have to look. But point being that this York team has been like the Tufts team in that they've faced a lot of success this year. And, you know, in a game like this, when you have to dig deep, it's tough when you've been beating teams by an average of 8.
Yeah, I mean, and the Jumbos, yeah, they have that ridiculous 12 scoring margin, but they've had to fight in some games. The Bowdoin game, the Williams game, you were on the call for that one. They've had to fight. They've had to come back. They know what adversity is, as a beautiful individual effort there by Ames Clark.
Yeah, I was talking about Ames earlier. Just love the way he's been playing up top. Not a massive guy. You can see he's the smallest player in this lineup, but the way he fights to get inside through traffic, able to put that on the net. Kind of wish they'd used him more as a dodging threat early on, but glad to see he's able to tally one here.
Salcedo out for this draw. And a violation on Fachaponte will allow the Jumbos to look and go. Boyden to Brune. Wanted it back, didn't. Ettinghausen now. Uses Rosario as a bit of a moving screen. And now we'll back out, wait for Timmins to get in the play.
Wind has picked up, but it's also gotten warmer, which I'm not entirely sure how.
It's Bello. The weather doesn't make sense here.
Fair.
Ettinghausen has space, swings to Timmins. Swank will snipe, Swank will score.
And this York team is looking around and they're pointing fingers, and I think they're right that there's something wrong, but I also think it just has to do with the fact that they've been on defense for so long. They're exhausted, frankly. They've been faced up against a pretty tough matchup. And when this Tufts team moves the ball the way they do, as now we see some fresh attackmen,
Yeah, and those guys are ready to go because they had big days yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday, Tufts, 16 different goal scorers.
Great dodge. Pass down low, a little bit loose. Greg Wells fighting for it. And eventually is picked up there by Wilhelm.
Yeah, and it looks like we have new faces in every position except for goalie with Garzone still there. It's a full, fresh attack lineup. Though, like you mentioned, Riley, if you watched the game yesterday, you'll recognize a lot of them from their efforts. And frankly, when we were doing prep for this game, Riley, I think I sent you a message, but as that one hits the post and goes out, but frankly, when we were doing prep, I expected this to be a lot closer of a game. Both these teams having very similar schedules in the sense that they play a decent amount of ranked opponents, and York, their 5 losses this season, all to top 20 opponents.
Good
It's a bit of a
save there.
shock that the score is as one-sided as it is, and it makes you wonder, could it be tough strength of schedule? Could it be that York, just didn't recover last night? Or is it really the case that Tufts has set themselves that far apart?
Well, I mean, I think if I had to guess, as a nice finish there, put in the back of the net from Kazella. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see Cody Weeb sooner rather than later, as there's really no reason to keep Garzone in this game.
Yeah, great call, and right as you say that, there comes Weeb.
Garzone not quite hearing
And
his number being
yeah,
called.
Garzone in the zone, not realizing he's about to be subbed out.
I really think it has to do with 2 names. I think it's Jack Boyden and it's Mason Cohn. Jack Boyden's effect on offense is so great in that he either is the distributor or scorer of every possession, or you have to put your best defender in on him and lock him down at all times. And then the rest of the Jumbo's offense, all of whom are pretty much better than any other attacker you would see in the country, with very few exceptions, as that snipe is just wide from Green, will then get to play 5-on-5. But of course, that's not just the only thing. The fact of the matter is the Jumbos have had about twice as many offensive possessions as York has today, because Mason Cohn's at like 70% from the dot.
Yeah, 17 for 31.
And then, of course, we can talk about the defense and the fact of the matter that for a stretch of this game that was about almost 2 quarters, York had about 3 shots on net.
Yeah, it's gotten much better, but obviously a little bit too little too late. If they had played with that sort of style of, like, what we're seeing here now, right? Nice dodges on short sticks, off-ball movement, creating opportunities for their shooters.
Beautiful feed to the top. Grayson fell down, or he would have had a good look. Brooke Burns picks it up, and the Jumbos are going to run.
Yeah, unfortunate there from Grayson. It looked like he had a great step-down opportunity.
Del Cristo spins left, shoots, save by Keller.
Yeah, Keller wasn't sure where that was for a second. Turns out he was right on top of it.
A little bit of an interesting unit here for the Jumbos offensively. Not the same lines we saw yesterday, as it is Eddinghausen with Kurtz and Del Cristo.
Yeah, a bit of a mixed bag. It looks like Coach Donalfo's trying some different combinations here, and we'll see York will pull their goalie as well.
Kazella. Wilhelm thought about the jump shot, swung it.
Tough outing for Keller. Ends up making 11 saves on the day, facing 48 shots.
48 shots only? It's a low day for the Jumbos.
Yeah, for a team that averages 65, it was a bit of a slow day.
That ball is stripped clean. Wells couldn't get to it first. Great hustle from Ben Meyer, but then Wells knocks it free. Unclear what the call is. Looks like Wells gets called for a hold. That'll reset the shot clock. And Coach Childs wants a timeout. And I mean, while we take this timeout, it's been an absolute privilege, as always, to work these games. And I just want to take this moment to thank the other members of our crew. We got Henry Stahl directing both these games today. We have Gabe Gonzalez on the camera, and of course, Niles, as a senior on your last Bello day here. What a way to go out.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a great day, first with the women's, now with the men's. And for a Mother's Day gift for this Jumbo's team, obviously a lot of parents and alumni here. What a special day. What a gorgeous day on Bello. Perfect weather. Can't really ask for much better than this. And yeah, it's been a blast this season being able to commentate with a crew like this. And yeah, just really grateful for an opportunity like this.
Really great to have a team like this to commentate. I mean, we're lucky that there are no bad teams here at Tufts. Every team plays with energy. Every team is entertaining. And every team has that desire to win. And it's crazy to think about, considering how good they've been. But this Jumbo's team, this men's lacrosse team, is actually only the 6th most recent Tufts team to win a national title, despite having won one just 6 years ago.
Yeah, this Tufts men's team has been knocking on the doorstep of a natty for a couple years now. Final Fours in 2021, 2022, obviously 2020 being the COVID year.
Yeah, and it's scary to think about that. As a great body check there.
Yeah, that'll be a loose ball push every time. Ames, the smaller player, turned his back. Easy call for a referee to make when he's right on top of it, even if the coaching staff disagree with it.
It's scary to think. D3 Player of the Year, Jack Boyden, he still has 2 more years of eligibility.
Yeah, that's pretty insane.
Not Michael Ayers. That will be Josiah DeGrassi bringing it up. Stockdale. Now Max Eddinghausen.
Yeah, and Max Eddinghausen will wait for some subs here. I mean, with the first line, you'd love to let the deep holes play, but the second line, I don't think you push your luck as much.
Interesting, we're still seeing the first unit midfielders. Tagliaferri and Timmons back out there with Christmas.
Yeah, I think I sort of talked about it a little bit earlier, but I think it's in a game like this, you love to be able to mix up your matchups, right? You love to be able to put a combination of seconds and thirds in. You want to just see what clicks.
Timmons falls down, lost the ball. Great strip there. But then a ride coming, and they were able to get it clear to Blackman. That pass just picked off with one hand by Christmas, and now he's going. Christmas gonna shoot. Christmas gets denied. A nice save from Kalinin.
Yeah, just came in, the senior, getting his last game, and a nice kick save there, keeps it out of the net.
Eddinghausen. Might try a 1v1 spin dodge. Slide comes. Skip to the top. What a grab there by Kurtz. Tagliaferri uses Callum Wood as a screen. Thought about the shot, takes the shot, blocked about 18 feet into the air and into the side netting.
Yeah, good eat there from Briggle.
Tagliaferri with 30 on the shot clock. Brings it back out.
20 seconds on the shot clock here.
Wood calling out a play now. Down low, Tagliaferri gets whacked. Ball pops free. Jumbo's riding, almost popped it into the net. And then a shove. That ball is bouncing. Jumbo's right, not giving any inches. As tracking back Tagliaferri and Kurtz. Tagliaferri almost tripped up Kurtz, but York able to clear.
Yeah, nice effort on the ride there, but ultimately a great clear up ahead by this York team, realizing all the pressure was more or less behind them, so they just had to move it into the offensive zone to get away from it.
Townsend. And timeout York, as they could sense the pressure building. They'll take a timeout, talk things over one last time this season. Coach Denolfo will take this timeout, use it to savor in the moment as the Jumbos look to have earned themselves another weekend here at Bello.
Yeah, next weekend will be exciting.
Elite Eight and Final Four?
Yeah, still don't know what time the games will be, but next weekend is graduation here at Tufts, a little bit later than some other schools, so there's a good chance some of the seniors on this team will not be attending the ceremonies and instead will be here attending what will likely be a great game of lacrosse.
Yeah, and not just lacrosse next weekend on JumboCast. Starting Thursday, the NCAA Softball Championships will be live from Spicer Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So stay tuned for that one as the Jumbos, who came just short today against Williams in their goal of getting another NESCAC title, will look to redeem themselves in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, what was the outcome of today's game, Riley?
Williams pulled the shocker, a 3-1 win.
So now Tufts is at large, is that correct?
Tufts will in all likelihood be getting an at-large bid. They came into today ranked number 8 in the country.
.220 left in this one. More of a formality at this point as the score is 21-6.
Now, I wonder why. I wonder why for women's lacrosse they go to running clock, but not for men's. There doesn't seem to be any rational reason.
I've wondered the same thing, and in softball there's mercy rule, but in baseball there isn't. I'm not sure I fully understand it, but I guess there's some consistency across sports. I don't really know.
If anyone knows the real reason, put it in the chat. We'd love to know. As that shot hits off the crossbar from Michael Russo.
We'll get a reset, which is nice. But ultimately it doesn't matter as it's Weeb who scoops it up.
And we'll see if the Jumbos even look to get a shot here. They might just clear it. Jumbo's got to be careful right now. They only got 5 to clear. Weeb gets it up for Zoli. Steps around. Eddinghausen on the X. And we'll see if they look to shoot or just take a jog with it. Screen set, Eddinghausen.
I think with the shot clock the way it is, they will take a shot. Can't just hold it because of the difference, about 15 seconds.
Callum Wood. Spins back the other way. Timmons faces up. Timmons with 20 on the shot clock. Goes hard, shoots off the post.
Wow, Timmons got a great
That will
look at
stay
that.
with the Jumbos. That'll reset the shot clock, and that, in all likelihood, will be the last shot of the game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the York defense does here. That'll pretty much dictate how this goes, but
well, it looks like technically Ferry might not be done just yet.
yeah, one thing this Tufts coaching staff is not afraid of is attacking until the last minute. They encourage their
Eddinghausen
players.
shoots, scores.
Yeah, they encourage their players to do so. They are not afraid to put one in the net, even when it's at an awkward time. And I honestly don't hate it. It's the NCAA tournament. You're playing to win and you're playing to dominate.
And Cody Weeb's day will be done. Eugene Yoon, the senior.
And that's a funny move to sub a goalie with 25 seconds.
I mean, I think
pretty-
I know why.
yeah.
You want to. He's your senior. It's his last ride, and you want to get him the note on the resume that says, "I played in an NCAA tournament game," and he might get a chance for a save here, as Fachaponte shoots and scores.
Well, Eugene Yoon with some playing time, but it is Fachaponte who puts a goal in the back of the net. Nice make it, take it for the York team.
And the Jumbo's coaching staff giving unequivocal instructions that they are to not let that happen again, win this draw, and then go off into the merry sunset.
Yeah, and it's Hegelson, who took a couple of draws yesterday as well with Parker Merrill out of commission. Loses another clamp, but it's Ethan O'Neill who comes up with it, soaks one to the wrist.
O'Neal gets doubled, skips it to Helgelson. Frizzoli, and he's not going to shoot it. Been told not to. That'll do it from Medford. York posed a challenge, but the Jumbos aren't being challenged by anyone just yet. Final score. The Spartans put 7 on the board, but the Jumbos blow them out with 22. Niles, your closing thoughts?
Yeah, just an overall great performance from this Jumbos team. I think you talked about it a little bit. Bit of a scare early on. We looked like York was here to play, here to perform. But ultimately, it was the strength of this Jumbos offense, the ability to score at will and in transition that came through. And on a gorgeous day, a Mother's Day, what a gift for everybody in the stands and everybody watching at home. So just want to extend a thank you to everybody. This will also be the last game of the season here for JumboCast Lacrosse. So thank you all for listening and really appreciate all the time you spent with us this season.
And as always, stay home safely.